my name's Cece and welcome to another episode of Pet Central. This week we have giant cats, the wildest restaurant adventure you'll ever hear about, and so much more. Stay tuned. Imagine this. It's 3:30 a.m. and you've just finished a ridiculously long shift at work, or maybe you're walking home after a night at the club and you stop by a restaurant to grab a quick bite to eat. Well, you enter, you get a table, you sit down, and you're just about to tuck into your food when all hell breaks loose and a wild animal goes on a rampage and proceeds to destroy the entire restaurant. Well, this is exactly what happened in Ujeongbu in South Korea, where CCTV footage caught a wild boar entering a restaurant at high speeds, only to then run over and destroy tables, plates, and cutlery, smash into walls, chase around a customer or five who try to put as many objects as they could between them and the boar as possible, leading to even more destruction, followed by the animal smashing a window and aircon, only to finish off by chasing one last customer out of the establishment and running off into the nearby hills. The entire ordeal only lasted about 40 seconds and no one was hurt, thank goodness. But the damages just goes to show what would happen if a wild animal stopped by in your restaurant and went totally mental. Needless to say, the customers were quoted as saying they were very surprised. The local police have also chimed in with a warning stating that you should be careful for boars, especially around July, as this is the time when they tend to leave the mountains in search of food. But no mention as to what to do exactly when they decide to drop by the restaurant that you're eating at. We've seen politicians embrace their love of animals in order to try and get elected before. But this next story is both interesting and slightly offbeat, so we just had to talk about it. Now, usually in Japan, candidates create campaign posters with both close-ups of their confident faces along with their names written in giant letters to really make an impression on the viewers and the voters. Enter 58-year-old political hopeful Satoshi Shima, who wanted to take a slightly different approach to his poster campaign. He both wanted to show his love of cats and also appeal to younger audiences. So, what did he do? Incorporate a giant cat, of course. Yes, the political hopeful in question produced a rather striking poster of himself grinning in the foreground while a white cat with two different eye colors stands behind him. However, questions soon arose as to why Satoshi didn't use his own cat, whom he lovingly tweets about on a regular basis, and his answer was that he preferred the color of the famous dog in the SoftBank telephone commercials. SoftBank being the company he incidentally served as an executive secretary at. White is also said to be a metaphor Japanese politicians use to show a pure and incorruptible heart. Unfortunately for our candidate here, Mr. Shima did not gain enough votes to secure the position he was running for. So he now has to return back to his teaching position at Tokyo's Tama University. And while we don't know what his future political aspirations may be, we do have to say we do like your poster very much. Welcome to another session of Ask the Vet, where you get to ask one of our vets a question about your pet. This week's question comes from Christopher Giblin, who asks, "When I'm sick, my cat likes to lay with me. Now, is this because he really cares about me, or does he have an ulterior motive?"
Well, I think for a start, your cat is probably delighted you're at home instead of at work. Cats are companion pets, companion animals, but they give affection to us when they want to. So if you're at home during the day when it's sleeping time for cats, and you're in a nice warm bed, a nice environment, I can imagine that your cat just wants to cuddle up beside you because it's nice and comfortable for him. There are a lot of stories and facts about cats that live in senior nursing homes, and it's known and it's documented that often when somebody is very, very sick, the cat will go and be the companion for that person during the passing time. And in fact, in some places, the nursing staff, the trigger for them knowing to call the family in a nursing home is because they've seen their hospital cat go and sit on somebody's bed. Now, sometimes the cat's wrong. I don't believe we really know the answer to this. It may be that when we are all going to pass, there's a change in our pheromones, our hormones, maybe our smells, our scents, whatever. But it's certainly something that the cat, a very sensitive animal, can pick up. But I don't say that because I want you to think you're about to pass. I simply say that because cats like to go and share part of their life with us humans. That's why we call them our cat companions.
And that's it for another session of Ask the Vet. Now, if you have a question that you want to ask one of our vets about your pet, make sure to hop onto our Facebook page, leave a comment, and hashtag AskTheVet. It's not every day that we talk about video games on this show, but a recent game causing waves on the internet has caught our eye, not only because it features an animal, but also because it hits very close to home. The game in question focuses on letting the player control a cat in a futuristic Hong Kong, where much of the aesthetics have been based on the legendary Kowloon walled city. The Kowloon walled city was a densely populated settlement made of steel and concrete, located in Kowloon. But what made it really interesting, however, is that it somewhat functioned as a city in itself. For example, it had its own doctors, its own butcher, its own school, and so much more. It was also considered by many to be the closest thing to a dystopian reality the world has ever seen. The actual Kowloon walled city was finally torn down between March of 1993 and 1994. However, plenty of video and pictures have survived, leaving the developers with references to create the digital world, where as a cat, players can walk over pipes, crawl into small spaces, and more. The developers have described the game as a solo third-person cat adventure and takes place somewhat in the future, where robots walk the streets and neon soaks into the atmosphere, which all works very nicely within the Unreal 4 engine. The game has caused quite a buzz on the internet and is currently known as Hong Kong Project, but an official name will be announced later on in the development. It will be released on the PC, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 consoles. So, what do you think about this game? I, for one, am really looking forward to it, because I'm as curious as a cat. Japan is known to have a very precise and smooth-running train system. As a matter of fact, the trains are so on time that it takes a somewhat major incident for them to be stopped. And that's exactly what happened in this next story, but for a somewhat unusual reason. Enter the Hanshin main train line, where, much to their surprise, passengers noticed that the train they just boarded wasn't moving. However, it was the announcement that really got their attention, stating, "A dog is on the Mukugana train station tracks. The train driver is still trying to coax the dog with a cookie, but it keeps biting." This news was also posted on the official Jorodan app, which streams Japanese train announcements in real time. However, 5 minutes later, the app updated itself with a new official post stating, "We have caught the dog that was on the tracks, and the outbound Rapid Express has resumed normal services with a 15-minute delay." Now, we just love this story because can you imagine? That train driver would have seen that dog on the tracks, gone into panic mode, stopped the train, and then gone to find the nearest bakery to buy some cookies to lure the dog off the tracks. Pretty funny, no? Well, the Twitter sphere certainly agreed, with many users posting humorous comments such as, "I don't know where this is, but the reason for the train stopping on the Hanshin main line is too funny." And, "It looks like they caught the dog. I wonder if the driver is okay." Anyhow, we're glad that the commuters took things so lightly. And we're also glad to see that things are back on track. And that's it for another episode of Pet Central. Now, if you want to keep up to date with all the latest pet news, make sure you hit subscribe below. Till next time, bye!